Welcome to MDL Crochet for this tutorial on the Ireland blanket. It is a very curly pattern. It is done in a chain of 16 plus 12. So you'll do multiples of 16 and then add 12. The stitches you'll need to know are the Smock Stitch, Simple Stitch, Knit Stitch, and the Twist Stitch. I did this blanket in a 4-weight with a 6.5 millimeter cabled Tunisian crochet hook. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I went ahead and I pulled up a chain of 44, which is a multiple of 16 plus 12. You'll pull up your loops in the back bump like we normally do. And it'll go from the second chain from your hook. You'll just flip it over and start pulling up into the back bumps of your chain. And you'll do that all the way down. And then when you get down to the end, count how many loops you have on your hook, so that way you know you're still where you need to be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull these up, and I will meet you when we get ready for the return pass. And the return pass is a standard return pass. If you do not know what a standard return pass is, I will show you a standard return pass. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these up, and I'll be with you in just a second. Okay, so now for the return pass, we need to do a chain 1. So with that last loop, you always chain 1, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2, repeating that all the way down to the end until you only have 1 loop left on your hook. So now that our foundation row is pulled up, the first 2 stitches we're going to do as a simple stitch, because we're going to do our twist stitch. If you don't know how to do a twist stitch, I'll be putting the link for it right here. But you'll pull up your 2 simple stitches and then back your needle out, keeping the edge stitch still on your hook. And then you can take your hook and then go into that further stitch away and just twist it into it. And then take your thumb and then just twist the other stitch and get it on your hook. And that'll be a twist stitch. Now the next 6 stitches are our smock stitch, and this is why it is a 2-row repeat. With the smock stitch, you're going to start with a simple stitch first, and that's stitch number 1 for the smock stitch, and then we're going to simple stitch 2 together, stitch number 2, and then yarn over is for 3, and then go through the next 2 as well, simple stitch 2 together, that's 4, and then a yarn over is 5, and then just a standard simple stitch is number 6. Our next stitch will start our 16 stitch repeat. So the repeat is a simple stitch, a twist stitch, which a twist stitch requires 2, so we'll pull up 2, back out and twist them, a simple stitch, two knit stitches, 1 and 2. And if you do not know how to do a knit stitch, I'll be putting a link for the knit stitch right here. A simple stitch, a twist stitch, which requires 2, so 1 and 2, and then you're going to back out, twist those stitches upon each other, a simple stitch, and our 6 smock stitches. So it'll be a simple stitch, then you simple stitch 2 together, it's number 2, yarn over is 3, simple stitch 2 together, there goes 4, a yarn over is 5, and a single simple stitch is number 6. And that is the repeat. We're going to do the repeat one more time together. So the 16 stitch repeat is a simple stitch, and then a twisted stitch, which is twisted stitch requires 2 stitches, and then you just back out and you twist. A simple stitch, to knit, 1, 2, a simple stitch, twist stitch, which requires 2, so 1, 2, and then you pull it out and just twist it, 1 and 2, and then we'll do a simple stitch and our 6 smock stitches. And we start with a simple stitch for the smock, so that's number 1, simple stitch 2 together, there's 2, yarn over is number 3, simple stitch 2 together is 4, yarn over is 5, and a single simple stitch is number 6. Now that I go towards the end, it'll leave you 2 loops left plus your end stitch. These last 2 loops is exactly what we did in the beginning with our first 2 loops there, and that's a twist stitch. So you'll pull up your 2 loops, 1 and 2, back out and twist that stitch, and then it's an end stitch. And it is a standard return pass, so you'll chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. When you get to these twist stitches, they're going to bunch up. And what you can do with the twist stitches is you're just going to have to go very slow through them. So we'll yarn over and pull through 2, separating those 2 stitches, and that's what it'll look like when you separate the twist stitch. And then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to yarn over, go through 2 all the way down to the end, repeating that step until you only have that 1 loop left on your hook. And then I will see you here in just a moment for row 2 of the 2-row repeat. Alright, so now we're on to row 2 of the 2-row repeat. So with our twist stitch, we have a side stitch right there that we need to pull up our loop in, and then we have the main loop. So we're going to go ahead and pull up those loops. 1 and 2, because a twist stitch requires 2, and then just back out and twist them. And wherever you did a stitch, you're going to do that exact same stitch again in this pattern. The only thing that changes is just how you do the smock stitch. Now the smock stitch area will stay the same, 6 stitches for smock stitch. So the very first stitch we need to do for a smock stitch is we're going to go through for the 2 row on the second row of it. We're going to go through 2 together. So that's 1, and then we're going to yarn over. There's 2. And then we have this gap, and you can see this bar that is, if you stretch it a little bit, you can see the gap that you need to go through between that bar. And you need to go through that gap for our next loop. So you pull it in, and then you're going to go through the vertical bar. That's number 3. Then yarn over is 4. And then this is where we're going to get a little different. We need to go through this side and then the vertical bar equals 5, and then yarn over is 6. And then we're going to do a simple stitch, and then we 16 stitch repeat. So it's a simple stitch, then we got to do the sidebar for the twist stitch, and then it's a twist stitch. So do your twist stitch, and then it's a simple stitch, then it's 2 knit stitches. So 1 knit, 2 knit, a simple stitch, the sidebar for our twist stitch, pull up that loop, and then the vertical bar for another loop, back out and twist, and then it's a simple stitch. And then we start our smock. So it's simple stitch 2 together. So 1, yarn over is 2. Then we're going to go through that gap, go behind that bar, and then through the front. That's 3. Yarn over is 4. Again, we're going to go through that little butt bar and up through the front. It goes 5, and then a yarn over. Once you get done with your yarn over, we're starting the 16 stitch repeat again, which starts with a simple stitch. Then we do our twist stitch, which requires 2. So you pull up 1 and you pull up 2. Back out of those 2, and then twist them 1 and 2. And then we do a simple stitch. And then we do 2 knit stitches. So 1 and 2. Then we do a simple stitch. Then we do a twist stitch. And that's that sidebar. Goes 1. And then our vertical bar is 2. And then we back out, twist them. So we have our twist stitch. And then we do a simple stitch. And then we do our next 6 stitches are the smock stitch. So it's 2 together. It's 1. Yarn over is 2. And then we're going to go through that little gap again and pull that bar up. And then go into the next vertical bar. Simple stitching those together. That's 3. And then yarn over for 4. And then we're going to go through that little gap again, get that little bar, and then through the main bar on the next side. Simple stitching those together. That's 5, and then a yarn over makes 6. Now once you're done, these last 2 stitches that are twist stitches are when you're done with your stitch pattern. And then you just do the twist stitch again. So twist, stitch, twist, stitch, and then pull out and twist them. Be careful not to pull out of that yarn over. Let me redo that. Twist stitch, twist stitch, pull out of those 2. Make sure you do not pull out of that yarn over. Twist them, and then you'll do your edge stitch. And now that you got your edge stitch done, it is a standard return pass. Pay attention to your yarn overs and pay attention to your twist stitches. So we just pulled up our loop. Now we're going to go ahead and chain 1. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Be careful of the twist stitches, they can get on top of each other. Yarn over and pull through 2. And here we go. We're going to start our yarn overs. So we need to yarn over and pull through 2 and do that all the way down till you only have that 1 loop left on your hook, and I will meet you for row 1 of the 2-row repeat. All right, now we're on to row 1 of the 2-row repeat. First 2 stitches are our twist stitch. So go ahead and pull up those loops. Remember, we got to go through that sidebar. Yarn over, pull up our loop. And then we got to go into the vertical bar, pull up our loop, back out, and twist those stitches. And then we're starting our smock stitch pattern, which is 6 stitches. And it starts with a simple stitch for row 1. And then we're going to go through the side stitch right there, and then the vertical stitch. So that's 1, there's 2, yarn over is number 3, another side stitch, the vertical stitch, number 4, a yarn over is number 5, and then we got to go through the side stitch again and this vertical stitch or slanted stitch, because that slanted stitch is a yarn over that we need to pull up, and that will be number 6. Now this starts the repeat of the 16 stitch repeat. So a simple stitch, our twist stitch, which requires 2, and then back out and twist them, 1 and 2, and then a simple stitch, and then 2 knit stitches. So 1 and 2, a simple stitch, and then we're doing our twist stitch again, so we need to pull up two loops for that, and then you back out so we can twist them, and then a simple stitch, and then our 6 stitches for our smock stitch. So it's a simple stitch, then we're going to go through the side and the vertical bar, pull up a stitch, that's number 2, the yarn over is number 3, go through that side and the vertical bar, that's 4 and 5, and then we're going to go pull through, then we're going to pull up with that stitch and this slanted stitch, which is our yarn over. You're going to pull up the loop, and that is number 6. Again, we're starting, this is the 16 stitch repeat. So it's a simple stitch, twist stitch, which requires 2, 1 and 2, and then you back out of those 2, twist them, and then you do a simple stitch, 2 knit stitches, 1, 2, a simple stitch, our twist stitch, pull up that slanted bar, 1, 2, and then we back out of those 2 stitches and twist them, 1, 2, and then we do a simple stitch, and then we do our 6 smock stitches. So a simple stitch is 1, then we're going to go through this sidebar here and the vertical bar, yarn over, pull up, that's 2, yarn over is 3, then we're going to do the stitch again on the side and the vertical, that's 4, yarn over is 5, and then we're going to catch this slanted bar and this yarn over, which makes number 6. And then we got to get our twist stitch for our end. So you'll go through the slanted bar, pull up your loop, and then go into the vertical bar, pull up your loop, and then back out so you can twist them, 1 and 2, and then we do our end stitch, and then standard return pass, and then I'll meet you at the end when we get ready to start row 2 of the 2-row repeat. Now we're on to row 2 of the 2-row repeat, and what we're going to do is our twist stitch. So grab that sidebar, pull up your loop, and then go into the vertical bar, pull up your loop, and then back out of those 2 loops and twist them. And then we're going to do our second row repeat of our smock, and that is 6 total stitches. And you go through 2, that's 1, yarn over is 2, and then we're going to catch that little sidebar right there. We're going to go into it, pull it up, and then into the vertical bar. That goes to number 3, yarn over is number 4, and then we're going to go into this little sidebar again and into the main vertical bar. There's 5, and a yarn over is number 6, and then we start the 16 row. Then we start the 16 stitch repeat. So that is starts with a simple stitch, and then we do our twist stitch. So watch that vertical or that slanted bar, pull up your loop, go into the main bar, pull up your loop, back out, twist, and then pull up a simple stitch, and then we do 2 knit stitches. Again, simple stitch, our twist stitch. So catch that slanted bar, pull up a loop, go into the vertical bar, pull up a loop, back out, twist your stitches, and then do a simple stitch. And then we're doing our 6 smock stitches, which is simple stitch 2 together. It's 1, yarn over is 2, catch that sidebar and the main vertical bar. There goes 3, a yarn over is 4, catch that sidebar or that slanted bar, and the main bar is 5, and a yarn over is 6. Now we're starting the 16 stitch repeat again. This ended it, now we're starting it again. So a simple stitch, our twist stitch. So get that slant bar and that vertical bar, and then you're going to twist them. Simple stitch, 2 knit stitches, so 1 and 2, simple stitch, and then we're at a twist stitch again. So get that slanted bar, pull up a loop, and go into that vertical bar and pull up a loop, back out, and twist the stitches. And then we're going to do a simple stitch, and then we do our 6 smock stitches. So that will be simple stitching 2 together. There's 1, yarn over is 2. Then we're going to go into this gap and pull up that back bar and that front bar. That's 3, a yarn over is 4. Again, go into that gap, pull up that little bar, and then the front bar. There's 5, and then a yarn over is 6. And then we have our twisted stitch. So get that slanted bar, pull up your loop, get that vertical bar, pull up your loop, back out of those 2, watching out for that yarn over, twist the stitches, and then do your normal end stitch. And it's a standard return pass. So chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2, watching out for the twisted stitch and watching out for the yarn overs. So yarn over and pull through 2, and you'll do that all the way down at the end and repeat to row 1. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and do a few more rows, and I'm going to show, then we'll come back and we'll show you how to close off or to do a border. See you in just a moment. So this is what your blanket pattern will look like. Now to close it off, you could do a close off or you could do a border. To close off, you'll just do your simple stitch close off in every loop that you normally pull up. Just pull up the loop, slip it off. That's all you would do to close this project off. Now let's say you wanted to do a border with it though. You could do any border you'd want to do. Just what I ended up doing for my blanket is I changed yarns right here before you did your last pull through. I just changed yarns right here. And I did a simple stitch border because I wanted something that wasn't going to take away from the pattern. So all I did is a simple stitch border, which now that we changed our colors, then we can do our simple, pull up nothing but simple stitches all the way down in every loop. And then did a standard return pass, which I'll do that. I'll show you how to do that here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and get down to the end. Be sure to catch those sidebars on twist stitch when you're doing this. And then when you get to the end, you'll just do your standard end stitch, right? We're going to go ahead and chain one and then yarn over and pull through two all the way down. Standard return pass. And then while we're here at the end, what you're going to end up doing now is just doing a simple stitch slip off, which is pull up a simple stitch and just slip it off and do that all the way down. That's how you're going to close your border off, and it's a simple, nice little border. It doesn't detract from the pattern. And then when you get to the end, then you just rotate your work and start pulling up the simple stitches on the other side. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a moment. All right, we're just about to the end. You need to do your end stitch and do that slip off there too. And then just turn your work. And then start picking up your simple stitches in all the side stitches. And you'll just repeat what we've been doing until your border is done. You'll go around all four sides. And remember, if you can give me a like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. And leave me a comment. I will chat with you. And as always, folks, keep stitching.